So here we have the Symbiote Spider-Man figure from the Hasbro Marvel Legends Retro Vintage Spider-Man Wave 2. So this figure comes in its traditional packaging. We all know how that looks. The backside we get the rest of the wave. There's a big old glare there. And the rest of the wave contains Spider Armor MK1, Marvel's Hammerhead, Hobgoblin, Ben Riley Spider-Man, Marvel's Shocker. So far we've reviewed them all except for Ben Riley. He is the last one to go. As for the read up in the backside, it reads, Spider-Man gets an all-new look when he finds a sleek black costume in a space shuttle wreck. Little does Spidey realize he's joined himself to the predatory alien symbiote Venom. And if you can't find these at your local Target, then check out the link down below for Big Bad Toy Store where you guys can order yourself a set from there. So overall, this figure release is a pretty simple repaint of our Spider-Man, classic Spider-Man from Series 1. It's exactly the same body mold, just painted in black, of course. So we've all seen the review by Mr. J. Hernandez, so we all know what this figure is all about, and most of us already own the Spider-Man Wave 1 version, but if you don't, it is basically this figure, but in our classic Spidey colors. This will be a rather quick review since we've all seen Jay's review on this figure. I can really just do a little quick review and give you my thoughts because that's pretty much why you're here, is to hear my thoughts on the figure. So the figure comes packed in as so with the fist attached, and then he comes with a alternate set of hands, two more sets of hands. So we get the wall crawling sets of hands here, which we've seen before in previous Spider-Man releases, but it's always nice to get these here. So these are the wall crawling ones, and then we get, of course, our thwipping Spidey hands, traditional thwipping hands. So that's always necessary for Spidey, and that's it. So we get three sets, including the fist on the figure itself. So taking a closer look at the figure itself, I really am paying attention to the logo on the chest, and everything seems to be pretty clean because that's the most important part, since it's the only painted part of the figure. And if this is messed up, then it kind of throws off the entire look. So I'm glad they did a pretty clean job, at least on my version. I mean, if you really nitpick, you'll see some spots that are not fully painted. I got a little tiny dot, so small that you probably can't see it. As for the backside, this one's a little bit sloppier. You can see the spider legs here. The paint kind of got messy there compared to the paint over here. Got a little bit of a chip there, but at least that is the backside. I'd prefer it be on the backside than on the front. The front's pretty clean. I'm pretty content with how this one came out. But overall, that's the only thing that's painted. Also, the top of the hands there are painted, and of course the eyes. So you see there. So I initially was going to skip over the articulation of the figure since we all should know what this is all about, but I do know that some people did not get a chance to get the Series 1 Spidey, so I'll run through it fairly quickly. So hopefully you guys don't make that mistake again. Go ahead and pick this figure up because it's just as good as that Series 1 Spidey. So we have the head on a ball peg, but he does have this little opening on the back side of the neck. Probably can't even see it because it kind of blends in, but there you go, you can kind of see it there. So that should allow for a little bit more range when he looks up, so like that. So he looks up about that high, he looks down about that low, left and right, and then we get that nice head tilting. As for the arms, they do go forward, they go back. He's got these very deep shoulder butterfly joints, and they go forward as well. And we get the bicep swivel, arms going in and out, forward and back. I think I said that already. Double jointed elbows. They are pinned because this figure released right before we got the pinless tech, so unfortunately this didn't make the cut. But fortunately for this design, it is an all black design, so it kind of blends in from far away. Obviously, if you look at it up close, you're going to see those pins, but it's all black, so you don't get that Here's the other Spidey. You don't get this effect there where the pins are red with, when it's supposed to be blue. So that's a plus since it's all black here. But I am 90% sure we're going to get an updated version of this Spidey without pins. I think Hasbro team has kind of hinted towards that. They haven't officially announced it, but I think we are going to get it. Continuing on here, we get the wrist swivel at the wrist, of course, and then the hinge, ab, articulation. I almost said ab crunch, but he does have an ab crunch and a diaphragm joint. He's got that double torso articulation. That's what makes this thing so super articulated. So I really dig that. You can really get him bent back, get him in those very nice Spidey swinging poses, and crunch forward. Then we get the tilting because of that diaphragm, and swiveling there as well. So no waist swivel, but he has that diaphragm joint swivel. Legs will kick forward, they go back, they go in and out pretty good. Thigh swivels, double jointed knees, then we get the boot cut shin swivel, ankle hinges forward and back, and it does rock side to side, no swivel though. Alright, so here's a full shot at that Series 1 Spider-Man next to our Series 2 Symbiote Spidey. And you can see, yes, they are, sporting the same body as I've been claiming this entire video. And yeah, I mean, I cannot complain here. This is the definitive Spider-Man body mold for now until we get that new updated pinless one, which I'm pretty sure we're getting. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. If you missed out on this Series 1 version, yeah, just wait out for the updates version because he definitely hinted towards that. Nonetheless, though, this figure is still my favorite Spider-Man figure out there, and now he is accompanied by my second favorite, which would be the Symbiote Spidey. Why not? He is the exact same figure. He is the best Symbiote Spidey that we have so far, and with that, we'll compare him next to the previous Symbiote Spidey that we got. Before we get to that, though, you can see everything's the same except for the head sculpt. The head sculpt is different. You can see the eyes there are totally different. Alright, so this is our previous Symbiote Spider-Man, not counting the one that came from the Kingpin wave. We did get one in the Kingpin wave. I'm not really a fan of that version, so this was my definitive version despite that release, and this is the one from the Sandman Build-A-Figure wave. This was sporting the Pizza Spidey body mold, which was everyone's favorite Spidey, and some people's still favorite Spidey. But this was the one before, of course, our newest one from the Retro Series 1. You can see here the eyes are very, very different. And the body molds are completely different. You can see here that the new version is more muscular, a little bit more thicker, and he's definitely more slender and thinner on the Sandman Pizza Spidey body mold. Right, and here's something that's really cool. You can actually head swap them. So if you haven't noticed, I did swap the heads. This was the one that was originally on the Sandman Build-A-Figure Wave Symbiote, and this is the new one. Now I just swapped them within each other, and it looks really good. They both fit on pretty tight, not loose at all, and it's not really too hard to put on. So if you prefer the wider, bigger eyes, then there you go. If you want the smaller one, just keep the one that came with the figure. Alright, so up next we have the Spider Armor Mark 1. Great figure, highly recommend this one, definitely for sure, especially if you're Spidey fan. Can't go wrong with our very first Marvel Legends Spider Armor. But in terms of height, you can see that he does stand a little bit shorter than our Symbiote Spidey. Alright, then we have our Hobgoblin from this wave that a lot of people don't like for whatever reason. I'm fine with it. I actually really like this figure. Then here we have the Shocker, which is my least favorite of the wave if I had to pick a least favorite. Not saying it's a bad figure at all, it's just if it was my least favorite of the wave, it'd go to this one. And this would be my favorite one of the wave right next to Symbiote Spidey. We have the Hammerhead, just a excellent figure. Does not come with this gun though. I attached it to him from my accessory bin. This gun came with Captain America, I believe. So if you have that lying around, goes great with this figure. And I don't have Ben Reilly opened up just yet. He'll be the next review, so stay tuned for that. And we'll see if that Spidey is any good. And then here he is next to Venom. This is not the retro Spidey wave Venom. This is our regular released Venom. They did re-release it for the Hasbro Post-Con exclusive. I bought one of that, and I did not open it, kept it in the box. So basically would be the same height as this figure, though. So only the cell shading is what's different in that figure release. So yeah, this guy's on the current best Spider-Man body mold that we have so far. The most articulated body mold that we have so far. So he is going to pose great. If you own and love Series 1 Spidey, you're going to love this one too. If you don't, you're still going to love this one. You're going to see exactly what you missed out on. And definitely might want to track down the Series 1 version eventually, or just wait for the new one. But with that said, that's my quick review and my thoughts of the figure. It is as good as everyone's making it out to seem. There's nothing really new here because we've seen it before, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's an improvement over the Sandman Build-A-Figure version, even though that figure is great. But if you don't like that small, lanky, skinny body mold for Spidey, then this is the perfect one for you. Alright guys, I appreciate you guys swinging by to check out my thoughts on this Symbiote Spider-Man figure from Series 2 Marvel Legends of Retro Vintage Spider-Man. Please do me the favor and hit the like button down below. Obviously that helps out the video. Comment down below your thoughts on the figure and subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always everyone, take care, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.